there's so many changes that's happening with respect to PR, or permanent residency in Canada, and most of the people are confused. Okay, is it really worth coming to Canada? Is it like, is Canada done? Okay, that's the dialogue these days. Canada is done. There's no point going to Canada anymore because they've just lost it. So it is very important to know which category you need to be in to qualify for PR. I know a lot of my friends who got through RNIP this year, at least 5 to 6 friends who got through RNIP this year. Best IELTS score, there's no age limit. The third thing is, even if you just have a high school diploma, you can apply. So these are for people who do not qualify into like express entry or CEC, or even now people who have 500 score in express entry, they're not qualifying because it's category based.
Could you play that song for me? It's my favorite song.
Hello everyone, welcome to Malz vlogs. So I'm in the same cafe that I was in the previous video and the next video and the next video, because I am actually recording a series of videos today, mainly because I wouldn't get time for the next 2 weeks because I'm busy packing and I'm heading to India. Yes, my nail is gone off. The nail is gone off, and also it pierced my nail, pierce my nose. I still have to change. I know it looks a little cramped out here with this ring and all over this thing. But then I need to change all these things. No time at all because I've been like loitering around shopping. I'm going after 3 years, so obviously I need to meet a lot of people and gifting and so many things and shopping for myself. So been quite busy. But I thought before that I need to make quality videos for you guys before I leave to India, so that you have enough to interact with and ponder upon. Okay, so I'm actually going to talk today. What I'm going to talk about is, there's so many changes that's happening with respect to PR, or permanent residency in Canada, and most of the people are confused. Okay, is it really worth coming to Canada? Is it like, is Canada done? Okay, that's the dialogue these days. Canada is done. There's no point going to Canada anymore because they've just lost it. I don't know why people say that. People still want to come here. So this video is mainly for people who are still keen on coming into Canada, and for those people who don't want to come to Canada, don't come. Okay, so most of them who are looking out for PR apply through Express Entry or Canadian, no, not Canadian Experience Class, mainly Express Entry or PNPs, okay, Provincial Nominee Programs. So the problem with Express Entry is, obviously the score is above 500 and most of us don't qualify for it. And even if you qualify for it these days, it's category based. So it becomes very difficult for people to. I know a lot of my friends who have 500 or above as a score, but they're not qualifying because they're not falling into those categories. So it is very important to know which category you need to be in to qualify for PR.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to introduce a service to you. You have seen there are so many changes that's coming about in Canada with respect to changes in study permit, work permit, LMIA points not being included in your express entry, and so many other changes that's coming in 2025. They're obviously restricting the amount of students who are coming into Canada, or even immigrants who are coming into Canada, whether it be through work permit, through permanent residency or study permit. I'm so excited to tell you about my partnership with Amster Group. Amster Group is an IRCC accredited agent who can help students and workers or any kind of immigrants to come into Canada. They have all the right pathways and they will actually guide you to select the right pathway which is suitable for your particular profile. It's very easy to get too overwhelmed with the documentation, what needs to be done in the next step, what needs to be done later on once you land in Canada, and so many other things. That's exactly where Amster Group plays a very important role, because they have helped several clients in coming into Canada in various profiles. and also they all help in the settlement plan once you come into Canada. So it's very important to tie up with such an agent because they really will guide you in the entire process from the time you decide to come to Canada until the time you land and settle down in Canada. So I hope you find this useful and contact them. All the details are put in the description below. I hope you find the services from Amster Group useful. Thank you, Amster Group, for sponsoring this video.
So some of the ways you can improve PR, I always tell, even in my previous video I did tell, some of the ways you can improve your PR is by having a good IELTS score. It's like 8,777. So try to get that. I know it is difficult. Even I couldn't get it. It's not that even I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. Okay, I thought I could, but I couldn't. It's only after I came to Canada and I wrote my IELTS before my applying for my PR that I got 8,777. But in India, I wrote it 3 times, but I couldn't get it. But if you can, please try so that you get enough score. The other way is obviously get as much as experience as possible, because from India or from here, this video is mainly for people who are here or back in India. So you can actually get as much of experience, because what happens is sometimes you don't qualify because you don't have enough experience. I know one of my relative who studied in Canada also, but she does not have enough experience, so she's not qualifying for any category. The third thing is improving the language French, or writing a French exam so that you get more points. So I'm going to touch upon that shortly. So like I mentioned a little while ago, express entry is also getting very difficult, mainly because it's going to be category based. So when you're going to try applying for express entry, just see if you fall into any of these categories, because if you look at the trend of what's been happening, the draws have been happening in these particular categories. Okay, so the first one is healthcare. Healthcare, I cannot stress enough how important healthcare is in Canada, because obviously there's a shortage. They need qualified people to come into Canada who are in the healthcare category. The next thing is trade. Okay, any kind of trade jobs. So I will try to leave links below wherein you can go and refer and find out if your knock code or if your job comes into any of a trade job or a healthcare job, or it can be a STEM kind of job that is mainly technical. It can be like science, maths, technical, and engineering kind of jobs. So if you're falling into any of those categories, again, it's in high demand. So you need to know if your job is in demand, and then it's worth putting your profile into express entry, or else you will just put it into express entry and keep waiting. So, what if you don't fall into anything, right? So, I've talked about healthcare, trade, STEM, and the fourth most important thing, I've seen so many draws happening in this particular category, which is French. Okay, French category, mainly because there have been so many draws that's been specifically for people who qualify or who have experience in French language, mainly who has written their exam and passed and got a specific score. So you can go and check out the Canadian immigration website and see what is the qualifying score, and then do a French exam and then qualify. I can't stress the importance of it, because there are so many job opportunities also within Canada. Like when I am applying for jobs, I always see that there are so many job opportunities in Canada who look for bilingual people. There are people walking around. So anyways, for bilingual people, so it's important that it would be great if you know French, because obviously when you actually tick on French, when if whoever has tried applying for PR, when you put your language requirements, once you click on English and your proficiency and all those kind of things, then it comes to French. So automatically when you click on it, what happens is your profile automatically goes into a different pool. Okay, so just make sure that if you have the time, you can refresh, or if you've already learned French, you can refresh on it and write the exam, or learn French and then write the exam. So these are the category based draws that's been happening. So what happens is, many of us, like including me, I don't fall into any of these categories. So if I was planning to come into Canada at this point, I wouldn't qualify. So what are the other options? I'm going to actually give you two main options. One is which is very very close to my heart. I know a lot about it. I've also done a video separately on it, so you can go and check it. I'll link it somewhere here. which is RNIP, that is Rural Nominee Immigration Program. So this was a temporary program. It was like a pilot program, but since it became popular and people were finding it very useful, they made it a permanent program. They have it in Moose which is in Saskatchewan. The reason why I did a video before is because I was encouraging people to actually explore RNIP and apply through that. I know a lot of my friends who got through RNIP this year, at least 5 to 6 friends who got through RNIP this year. So the benefit of RNIP, you can apply for RNIP if you're within Canada or if you're outside Canada. The benefit, the best thing is you just need a band of 4 to 5 for IELTS. Okay, that means you don't need a high score. You just need a basic score for IELTS. The next thing is there's no age limit for, especially for people like me, who suppose if I was planning to come to Canada this time. Especially for a person like me, there is no age limit. So obviously, you're not losing out on points or things like that. There's no point system in RNIP. Basically, you put in your profile with whatever I'm going to tell now, and then there is going to be a nomination letter that is given out from the rural committee or whatever you call it, or the RNIP central. I'm not very sure about it. About from the RNIP thing, they will give you a nomination letter which will add around 600 points to your profile, and then you qualify into. It's not express entry. I think RNIP also falls into non-express entry profiles. Okay. So yeah, like I told you, less IELTS score. There's no age limit. The third thing is, even if you just have a high school diploma, you can apply. So these are for people who do not qualify into like express entry or CEC, or even now people who have 500 score in express entry, they're not qualifying because it's category based. Canada is being very very specific about whom they want inside the country. Like if you look at 3 years back, it was like random, right? Like you have the score, okay, come in. But now it's not like that. Even if you have a score, you have to fall into these categories to come into Canada. So that's the criteria. So you can always explore this option. Then you just need 1 year experience. It can be inside Canada or outside Canada. You just need 1 year experience. So uh, the next thing is you can apply it from inside Canada or outside Canada. That is, even if you're back in India or whichever country you are in, you can apply from that country. I know one of my friends who came into Canada through RNIP. She got a job here and then she came through RNIP program. So RNIP is mainly rural immigration. Okay, so there are I think 11 participating rural locations, and one of them I think I forgot the exact, like Thunder Bay in Ontario, in Saskatchewan is Moose Jaw, and several other, like I think in Manitoba it's Brandon, I guess. There are 11 of them. I will put the list here. And you can apply. I've made a very detailed video. Please go watch it so that you get more information. And you can even apply in knockouts like B, C, or D. You don't need to be in 0, 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C and all. You can be even in B, C, D. That is like supervisory role or below that. Okay. And you need a job offer letter. So people might say, okay, how will I get a job offer letter if I'm not within Canada, or even if I'm within Canada, how will I get a job offer letter? So what you need to do is when you go to the when you search RNIP, you will see these like 11 rural places that's put in. Like suppose you're taking Moose Jaw, you click on Moose Jaw link, you will see the participating employers, and if you are qualified for that role, you will get the job. There are people who have come into Canada through these kind of jobs. It's not impossible. So you can always try and see if that works for you, and you just need to go to the particular company website and apply for the job, and if you're eligible they will recruit you. Okay, and then once that is done, you get a recommendation from the province or from that particular rural area, saying that you're qualifying for all these things, and then they give you the letter, like how SINP works. And then with that letter you get the 600 points, and then you qualify for your PR program. Okay, so it is actually one of the most simplest form. The only thing is, if you're outside Canada, you should be willing to come and settle in that particular place. Or if you're within Canada, I know a couple of my friends who are living in Moose Jaw. So you have to be living in that particular place to actually apply if you're within Canada. But if you're outside Canada, you should be willing to come and stay there. So it's not that you get your RNIP and then just vanish from the place. That doesn't work. You need to be willing to contribute to that particular community, because obviously they are actually sponsoring your PR process. The next one, what I wanted to talk about is the AIP, that is Atlantic Immigration Program. Most of you all know about it. Obviously, AIP cluster is Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. So these are the four clusters, the cluster which comes in AIP. And basically in this, you need a job offer letter, you need a it's just high school diploma that you need 1 year of experience, and it's basic stuff that you need. So I would always suggest people who don't qualify for express entry or CEC or any kind of PNPs. Even in PNPs, like if you're applying for Saskatchewan nominee program, there might be certain criteria that you might not qualify for. So try out RNIP or AIP, and I'm sure that you will find a way to crack through one of these. So it's not that just because you're not qualifying for express entry, it's the end of your PR game. You can always try these two options, or worst case scenario, improve your IELTS, your French, your experience, and try getting it. And I would always say that if you're really determined to come to Canada and you want to be here, you will find a way out. It is those people who like don't find excuses not to find a way to come here, because it's very easy to give up on your dreams. But just stay focused, see what best works for you, see which program best works for you, and then apply through that. I wouldn't be the best person to comment and guide you through all these things, but you can always refer the websites. If you have any doubts, you can comment below and ask me. I'm more than happy to help you guys. Since I don't know your profiles personally, I might not be able to pinpoint on one and say, okay, this is the one for you. I can't do that. But obviously, if you have any doubts regarding a particular thing, okay, if you're asking me, okay, news job, what is the procedure or whatever, I can do my research, or I can talk to people who have got through it and then help you out with it. So I hope you found this video useful. If you found it useful, go through the links, see if it works for you. But if you think your friends might find it useful, please share it with them, and also like and subscribe to my channel so that you get such interesting videos. I'm planning to do a lot of videos, like I always say in all my other videos. I have a lot of plans, but executing the plan becomes quite difficult, because obviously work and like life happens. So uh, that's all, guys. I hope you have a little more clarity on how to go about your PR process, if not for Express Entry and Canadian Experience Labs. So that's all, guys.